Have you ever wondered how businesses make sense of their vast data, revealing hidden patterns, correlations, and insights? In the digital age, data is the new gold. Businesses, large and small, are amassing vast amounts of data, but the true challenge lies in making sense of this data deluge. Enter the field of business intelligence and data visualization. This is where raw data is transformed into meaningful insights, where complex information is distilled into simple, easy-to-understand visuals. It's like having a secret decoder ring for your business data, unlocking insights that were previously hidden. Among the various tools available, one stands out for its ability to bring this power to businesses of all sizes. A tool that has become synonymous with business analytics. A tool that has revolutionized the way businesses perceive and interact with their data. Enter Power BI, Microsoft's powerful business analytics tool that has transformed the way businesses view their data. Our story begins in 2011, the year when Microsoft decided to revolutionize data visualization. A time when the need for a simple, user-friendly yet powerful tool for data analysis and visualization was palpable. Microsoft took the challenge head-on, and thus, Power BI was conceived. It was launched as part of Microsoft's Office 365 suite, a strategic move that aimed at integrating it into an already established ecosystem of productivity tools. This integration was designed to facilitate seamless data sharing and collaboration, making Power BI a unique proposition in the market. However, the journey wasn't all smooth sailing. The initial version of Power BI, though innovative, was met with mixed responses. It was not as intuitive as some of the competitors, and users found it a bit challenging to navigate. Moreover, the initial lack of support for non-Microsoft data sources posed a significant limitation. But Microsoft, known for its commitment to innovation, did not back down. They took the feedback to heart, and with each update, Power BI became more robust and user-friendly. Microsoft worked tirelessly to address the initial challenges. They expanded the data source compatibility, simplified the user interface, and introduced new features that made data visualization a breeze. One of the key strengths of Power BI is its ability to democratize data. It is designed to empower users, regardless of their technical expertise, to understand complex datasets and derive meaningful insights. This democratization of data was a game changer. It allowed even the non-technical users to make data-driven decisions, a capability that was previously limited to data analysts and IT professionals. Microsoft's vision was to bring robust data visualization to the masses, and with Power BI, they did just that. The tool has evolved to become an integral part of businesses worldwide, helping them make sense of their data and make informed decisions. From its humble beginnings, Power BI was set to become a game changer in the world of business intelligence, and as we will see in the next segment, this was just the beginning of its transformative journey. Over the years, Power BI has evolved, becoming more powerful, versatile, and user-friendly. From its humble beginnings, it has grown into a tool that's indispensable for countless businesses and organizations, thanks to its continual refinement and expansion. Let's take a step back to 2015, a pivotal year in the history of Power BI. This was the year that saw the introduction of Power BI Desktop, a standalone tool that allowed users to create reports and visualizations on their personal computers. This development marked a significant shift in the way Power BI was used, turning it into a more accessible platform for businesses of all sizes. The introduction of Power BI Desktop was just the start. Over the years, Microsoft has consistently rolled out monthly updates, introducing new features, enhancing existing ones, and making the tool even more user-friendly. These regular updates have allowed Power BI to stay ahead of the curve, constantly adapting to the changing needs of businesses and data analysts. From simple data visualization, Power BI has evolved to include capabilities like advanced analytics, real-time dashboards, and data-driven alerts. It has also made strides in integrating with other Microsoft tools, further expanding its utility and reach. What's more, Power BI's popularity has seen a steady upward climb. Today, it's used by millions of users worldwide across a wide range of industries. From healthcare to retail, from small businesses to multinational corporations, Power BI has found a place everywhere. The beauty of Power BI lies in its evolution. It has managed to strike a balance between complexity and usability, offering powerful data analysis and visualization tools that are easy to use. It has not only kept pace with the changing landscape of business intelligence, but has often been a step ahead, anticipating the needs of its users. Today, Power BI stands as a robust, all-encompassing business intelligence tool used by organizations worldwide. Its journey from a simple data visualization tool to an integral part of business strategy is a testament to its adaptability, versatility, and power. Power BI's impact on business intelligence has been profound. It has revolutionized the way businesses process and understand their data. By providing user-friendly, accessible tools, Power BI has democratized data analytics and visualization. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned data scientist or a sales executive with a basic grasp of numbers. Power BI gives you the power to transform raw data into meaningful insights. This democratization has led to a significant shift in business culture. Companies of all sizes now embrace data-driven decision-making, fostering an environment where everyone feels empowered to ask questions and explore data. The ease of use and intuitive nature of Power BI has encouraged a culture of curiosity, leading to more informed and strategic business decisions. Looking ahead, the future of Power BI is incredibly promising. It's continuously evolving, driven by the ever-changing needs of businesses and the relentless pace of technological advancement. We can expect to see further enhancements in data integration, artificial intelligence capabilities, and advanced analytics. The focus will remain on making data analytics even more accessible and user-friendly. Moreover, as businesses increasingly recognize the importance of data-driven decision-making, the demand for tools like Power BI will only grow. This means more innovation, more competition, and ultimately, better tools for businesses. As we look into the future, one thing is certain: Power BI will continue to shape the way businesses understand their data. So, what have we learned about Power BI? Well, it's clear that Power BI's inception marked a significant shift in data visualization. Over time, it has evolved, becoming an indispensable tool in business intelligence. Its impact is far-reaching, changing the way businesses operate and make decisions. And the future? It's bright, with Power BI continuing to push boundaries and redefine possibilities. Indeed, Power BI's journey is a testament to the transformative power of data visualization and business intelligence.